Chelsea are not messing around and they genuinely are looking dangerous. The thought of Chelsea getting back up to a super team in this Premier League with Champions League money and now have the taste of silverware is a big problem for the Premier League. They've got ambitious owners who are prepared to spend the money. What they're going to spend it on is up for debate, but they are very ambitious. A new goalkeeper, a striker, and a centre back, we all know they desperately need, and they may have just found their first 3 or 4 signings to get back up to the promised land where they want to. Make sure you go down, drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do smash this subscribe button if you are new to the channel. 90% of you who watch the content every single month are not subscribed. So please go down and hit that subscribe button. We're 240 away from 55k. Fabrizio Romano come out with an exclusive earlier regarding AC Milan French international Maignan, or Maignan, I believe it's pronounced. Before we get into this, he is a top goalkeeper, right? And if they bring in Maignan, maybe a top centre-back and a striker, they are a massive problem for the Premier League. Mark my words on that. Plus, they could get additional transfer funds going into January if they go into the latter stages of the Club World Cup, which they need to get these signings done and registered fast before the Club World Cup actually starts in a couple of weeks' time. Now, this comes out from Fabrizio Romano, an exclusive. Chelsea approach AC Milan to sign Maignan as a new goalkeeper. Maignan has still not signed a new contract at the club, and Chelsea are aware of the situation. He's always been high on the Chelsea list, with clubs in talks decision up to Milan. He's a very, very, very good goalkeeper, right? I've seen him against Spurs in the Champions League. We've seen him, play for France. He's actually got a relatively good, background in terms of a goalkeeper. He's good with his feet. He's excellent at catching crosses. His wages, I think Chelsea can comfortably improve. In terms of him as a goalkeeper, he's 29 years of age. So he's coming into what you would say the peak of a goalkeeper, 30, early 30s, maybe 29, early 30s. Only conceded 41 goals in 37 games, 13 clean sheets in Serie A last season, 12 appearances in the Champions League. He's a very, very good goalkeeper. They got all the way up to the Coppa Italia final. Only 1 year left on his contract, 28 games now played for France as a French international. And this really does annoy me, I'm not going to lie, because if they get him, they need 2 more positions, and they are there or thereabouts. Fabrizio Romano's also come out and said more on Maignan Chelsea exclusive story. Understand contacts have started also with Enzo Maresca appreciating the French goalkeeper as an ideal for the tactical approach. Chelsea are on it, and the manager has approved Maignan as a key target. This is a big problem, guys. The goalkeeper has been a catastrophic position for Chelsea this season. We've seen Sanchez throw it into his own net. They look vulnerable when he's on the ball. I don't think he's an excellent shot stopper. Catching crosses is not exactly ideal for him. You put Mike in goal, Maignan, however you pronounce his name. I've probably butchered it 5 or 6 times already in this video. But he is going to be one hell of an upgrade for that Chelsea position. And you also add that with Liam Delap, who now, is, they're set to announce Liam Delap for £30 million. I think he's going to be an excellent addition. He's not what I would say is a starting number 9 for Chelsea. But when you throw this in with Jackson, when you throw this in with the potential signing of Hugo Ekitike, that Chelsea are cooking up something in that kitchen. Delap, Hugo Ekitike, Gittens from Dortmund. You've also got Maignan, Enzo, Caicedo, Palmer, Cucurella. The big position I think they need to sort once they get the striker and the goalkeeper is the centre-back. And we'll come into what I think the lineup could look like next season. But Liam Delap, for me, £30 million is basically a free hit. If he performs, you can keep him. you know, for a good number of years. If he doesn't, you practically can guarantee you can get 30 million back because he's homegrown and will be playing for a Big Six club. So I don't really think that's bad business at all when it comes to Chelsea. Now the next one that they are heavily linked with is Hugo Ekitike. Now I've witnessed this guy, you know, terrorize Tottenham's back line. And it looks like right now that the three forwards that Chelsea really want to go for is Hugo Ekitike, Gittens from Dortmund, and Delap. Now, this is a massive improvement to that Chelsea front line. You've got to think, right? You've got to think Jadon Sancho will be going back to Manchester United, which we will bring up in a few minutes because he'll be going back there. You've also got to think Mudryk is on a ban now. So that's two forwards they've lost, right? You've got Madueke. I think he will be leaving. I just get the feeling. You've got Pedro Neto, who I think will be staying. I think they need to keep him. You've got Palmer, who can play out on the right. You've got Jackson, who can play out on the left and as a number 9. I think Ekitike could maybe play out on the left or the right as well. Jamie Gittens is a fantastic upcoming left winger for Borussia Dortmund in the Bundesliga, who's also homegrown. Like, for me, I want to talk about Hugo Ekitike first. He is a machine, right? 22 years of age, you know, playing in the Bundesliga with more than 30 goal contributions this season. You know, his stats across all competitions this season are 34 GA in 48 games, played in the Europa League, so has some European experience at Frankfurt, right? Is a young player. The price tag is a little bit high. We're talking 80 million euros. But when you, let me just quickly bring that advert. These websites, shameless of ads. Free game. Oh my God, there's another one. Look, there we go. Look, literally, as I'm talking, there's another advert from Transfer Market. I mean, I probably should just buy premium. It makes a lot more sense, doesn't it? But look at this. 22 games, 22 goals, sorry, and 12 assists in 48 games, 34 GA in 48, including 23 in 33 in the league, 7 in 12 in the Europa League, and 4 in 3 in the DFB Pokal. He is a very, very good player. Now, there, of course, will probably be an adaptation period to the Premier League. You know, it might take him, it might take a few months, a year, a few weeks. Who knows how he's going to hit the ground running. But there is very, very low risk for me on Hugo Ekitike. You've also got to think he's only 22 years of age. Like, he's a young striker. And the striker market is a little bit limited in terms of world-class number 9s. There isn't a huge amount out there. So you have to kind of look at what is available. And you've got a striker who's on 67,000 euros a week, which is probably, what, £55,000, who Chelsea can immediately put into their setup and immediately give him a pay rise, who has very, very good numbers, both in Europe and in the Bundesliga, and got Frankfurt back into the Champions League this season. Now, we're talking 80 million euros as a fee. I honestly believe that Hugo Ekitike, if Chelsea want him, they will get him because they've got ambitious owners. They've got a club that's willing to succeed. You know, you look at Matt Law coming out. Blue Coat Extra tweeted this out earlier today to say that Chelsea expect Liam Delap and Nicholas Jackson to compete for the out-and-out striker position, with Hugo Ekitike or another versatile forward providing a further option from deep or as a wide option. I honestly believe you could see a front line of Neto, Hugo Ekitike, and Delap, or Hugo Ekitike and Jackson. There's versatility there, which is excellent for what Enzo Maresca wants and needs. Another player that they are heavily linked with is 20 years of age, England under-21s forward. I think he's played for the under-21s. Jamie Gittens, who is at Borussia Dortmund. Now, he's a very interesting one because Gittens, you know, according to transfermarket.co.uk, he's valued at 50 million euros, 11 GA and 32 this season for Dortmund. Not the best overall season for Borussia Dortmund in terms of them collectively. You know, he's wanted by Newcastle, he's looked at by Arsenal, but Chelsea are the club that are very much in the driving seat, interested in him. He can play on, he's right-footed, but can play on the left and in the right, predominantly on the left, but has played on the right. In terms of his numbers, he's got 17 goals and 14 assists in 106 games. 7 GA in 23 in the Champions League. So does have some Champions League experience. I believe he come out of Manchester City's academy. I could be wrong on that though. 48 games this season with 17 GA is not bad for a 20-year-old player. You know, for me, I honestly think that he will be a top talent in a few years. The question is, do Chelsea already have enough young players? Do they need more experience? I definitely think that Hugo Ekitike will be a very, very good signing. Now, the rest is just kind of up for what Chelsea want and need at the time. You know, we know they need a centre-back. We know they need a number 9. We know they need a goalkeeper, you know. And when you look at what this potential lineup could look like, it could look something like this. Now, this team for me challenges. It challenges for the Premier League. I've thrown Gahey in there because I do think he would be an upgrade and is heavily linked with the club. You could probably argue they need one more centre-back, right? But Neto, Gittens, Ekitike, with depth of Jackson and Delap and Madueke, Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez is probably the best double pivot in Europe right now with Palmer in front. Reece James, you've also got Gusto, you've got Cucurella at left back. That is a team that has got bundles of ability. The only thing it needs is a little bit more experience. You've thrown Maignan in the goal as well. I think defensively they're more solid with Gahey and Mike in there. Enzo and Caicedo do what they do best. And this Chelsea team, towards the end, when everyone thought they would fall off, including myself, including me, and I'm not, you know, afraid to admit that. I'm happy to hold my hands up, right? They will be playing in the Club World Cup, and I'm going to try and cover as much of the Club World Cup as I can. They've just won the Conference League. They're back in the top 4. They've got a taste for silverware. And you look at this Chelsea Club World Cup group of fixtures, they beat ES Tunis, Flamingo, and Lyon comfortably. So they had a good end to the season, beating Man United, going away to Forest, beating Real Betis convincingly in the Conference League. Yes, they had a bit of a wobble against Newcastle. They did, however, beat Everton, Fulham, and Liverpool. When everyone wrote them off, they turned out and delivered. And Enzo Maresca, overall, deserves some praise. He does deserve some praise. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you all soon.